And Solana Midwest. I built SMS AI as your AI guide to the Solana ecosystem. But today we're going to be talking about the market, talking about some news that's going on, some things that I got here, some notes that I wanted to go over. So if you guys got a paper and pen, make sure you keep that on the side so you can jot stuff down because we're only going to be here for about an hour. But yeah, if this is your first time here, I'd like to start these off with a quote of the day. And I also like to make sure that the sound is coming through good here, just to make sure. Give me 1 second for a sound check. All right. Looks like we're good to go. So, like I said, it's quote of the day. Start that off. We get everybody kind of aligned right and on the same mindset. Because this is lifestyle, this is crypto, there's everything going on in the space and in my world. But thank you guys for pulling up. Make sure you repost this. But success is not built in a day, it's built daily. I got this one, I put it to the side because it's a reminder that progress isn't about being perfect. It's about coming back and showing up every single day. You're going to miss some days. You're going to take a day off here and there. I know I stress don't do that, but like as shit happens, life happens. Plans are going to change, and life does get in the way. So don't put too much weight and pressure on yourself when it comes to those kind of things. The important thing is that you keep showing up every single time and figuring it out one way or another, and that's how you move forward. Perfection isn't progress isn't something that you can perfect. It's just literally just showing up. But like I said, we start with a quote of the day just to get the mind right, get everybody on the same page. And then we're going to dive into the markets. We're going to take a look at Sol BTC, take a look at some meme coins. I've been calling a couple of them. I called, what's it called? Jimothy at about 3 million. Typically, people say that they want to get in under that. But for most traders that don't use the same tools or whatever the case is, they're not paying attention enough. Those are a little bit more safer. You can still lose a shit ton of money in them if you're not, you know, watching your wallet at the very least. But I want to bring it up because regardless of what you're looking at, people say that trading is hard. Making the right decision is hard. People say that 90% of people lose money with shiny new objects. That might be true because they don't know how to sell, or maybe they are just convicted in it for whatever reason. But typically, it's not that their play didn't play out. The play did exactly what they wanted to, if not more. Maybe not as much, but it did become a positive play. It's just that they didn't pull the trigger. They didn't press the button. So then it comes down to that statistic that makes it a lot easier to say, this is a skill issue for me. I'm not good at it, but 90% of people lose anyway. So I'm going to be part of the 10% that gains. Well, in reality is you are either not playing a game because you think that the rules are too hard for you. You don't have the skills to be, positive in any of those areas, and you're pushing it off to make it somebody else's. They're in power. They're the ones that control the outcome of your trading. But in reality, it's your trading that controls the outcome, but you suck at it. So you say, the markets are against me. They might be against you. Then play them downside. Like find ways to play the market to the downside. It goes down quicker than it goes up anyway. So you'll make more money if you learn that. And my point is, yeah, you might be right as far as stats say that most people are not positive because they didn't press the button because greed. And that's what this thing does. It allures greedy people to it. And if you are greedy and if you are impatient or whatever the case is, if you don't have a plan, if you're not set up, and if you don't stick to your rules, you probably will be in that 90%. That's reality. So I just wanted to say that because that was a conversation. And it's like, seems like a really cheap way to say like I suck at trading when like you don't have to go for 100%. You could probably put size on there for 30% and be like, okay, cool, I'm good. $1,000 at 30% is $300. It's really not hard to hit 30% on meme coins, especially when there's um, motion in there. The same thing goes to leverage trading. If you have low leverage and you put it at a 10 to 20, you're watching it, you understand risk that's involved with that. Like it's not hard to hit those plays, but you have to have the size and be willing to. But if you're not confident in making the small plays and you can't stick to your rules, the discipline, and all of those key factors when it comes to trading, yeah, you're going to be in the shitty position that says, I'm just going to wait for this thing. It's like, well, you're going to wait around for a long time. Um, that's just, I think it's a blanket statement when it comes to most people that they like to say that things are stacked up against them. In reality, it's like, well, it's you. Like people say there's not healthy food out in markets. Well, that's also you. We shop at the same places. I just choose to get different things and put different things into my body than other people. So when it comes down to like all of that stuff, don't put the control into somebody else. Take all responsibility on it, because if you give somebody else the control and the responsibility of the outcome, then you're saying that you really don't have any say in the game. Like you don't control your own life. And that's probably one of the worst things. So, with that being said, let's kick things off and pull up one of these charts here. If you've never seen my TA before, you are in for a treat because this stuff is crazy. But in all seriousness, why isn't that pulling up? There we go. All right, so this is Bitcoin. I've been charting this for a while. If you guys are just pulling up, it's your first time here. We put this purple box in here at the all-time high just to say, like, okay, well, this is where we recovered. There's a nice W. It's a really, really solid example of a reversal, recovery, whatever you want to call it. But this is in literally the middle of a bull run from $8. Well, Solana $8 is just a reference point, but from the bottom all the way here, it's under $20,000, all the way up to $126,000. So there was a long time to get in there, and a couple of different points where it took a little bit of a breather. And then we went to the complete bear cycle straight down. So we are looking for this type of action to reverse. This does look like it has the legs to do so. We needed to get that break up to the upside. So when you zoom in here, you'll see what I'm talking about. Came down here, tested, came back up, broke out of the purple box. You guys can kind of, oh, fuck, hold on. Let's go back in here. It's going to be a little hard to see. Let me open this up. We broke out of the purple box right here and came back down. That's about 83,000. And then it came back down and we hit that W, reset a little bit, and started working our way up here. And I was putting this key resistance just because there's a lot of traffic. And what I say by traffic is just slice it in the middle. Don't have to be super technical with it. Just look at, hey, where is most of this trading being done at? It's where you see a lot of those lines really, really tightly squeezed and coiled up. A lot of people call it accumulation, but it's also where structure breaks up or down. So when you look at that and you can say, all right, if I slice straight through the middle of this might be the average. You look back and see if there's similar price points where they match up. Well, since I did that, I was like, if it does break down from here, this is likely where we're going to catch. And sure enough, we pretty much caught in the middle there around 70,000, up, down, whatever, $15,000. But we came back down under 60, bounced off of there, and that's where we'd like to see this recovery play out. We do have a cup fill right there. It could be a handle, and that could send us back up here. It's like the pretty typical pattern that I look for when I'm charting things out. Just look for a gap fill for the handle, and then usually it's 50% drawdown, and then the gap from the top of the cup fill to the bottom of your local bottoms, whichever you want to call it. And then you put that at the handle, and then it'll run up. And I'll show you a good example of how that played out almost to a T here. So during this whole FTX, where 2021, 22 here, 2021, end of the year, if you measure from here to here, this stick right here is that the distance that it climbed. That's damn near the all-time high. Doesn't have to be exact. We're just using this for a reference. But you put it down here at this handle. That's about 50% drawdown, a little less than that, but still, I mean, we're just going on basic numbers and eyeballing this shit like napkin math. But it came back down about 50% here. You kind of watch that for, okay, if I missed this whole movement, then I can probably get in here. And this was, if you just waited patiently for it to hit that, yeah, you did pretty good because you went all the way up there and even higher. You had a chance for it to play out almost exactly like these things do. And that's what I look for almost every single time. It doesn't always work out like that. Like, here's a good example where it didn't work out. You had a gap fill, well, the double topped up here damn near, and that's where it sent us back down. But we didn't have that bounce up here because you could have said, well, it didn't work there. But you could look at other examples where it did. It's just not, it's an indicator. It's a charting pattern. There's a bunch of them you can look at. The reason I use that one is because typically if the first one doesn't flip over that bar, if we don't get that, that confirmation that we are moving to the upside, they typically form a W pattern. If it is still bullish, like down here, like you kind of had that gap fill, you were hoping to see it kick up there. It didn't. So it looks like it reset a little bit. We're looking for that same type of chart. If you can plan the bottom right there, low leverage longing in them situations, if it consistently does provide you that confirmation that it's working its way up, those are the kind of plays that I like to get into. Like, I put in a low leverage long of Bitcoin when it was like under like 64,000 or whatever, ran it up to 66.5. Small trade, but it was just confirming that I'm seeing the right patterns. I'm seeing the right things when it comes to getting into these trades. So let's just take a closer look. This is the daily to kind of showing you overall. I don't really go anywhere past an hour unless you're doing like some crazy high leverage and you really do want to see what's going on. Now, the thing I'm looking at here is, do we stay in a trend? Where are things kind of settling at? What's up? This crazy line that you see me that I drew out here, this was just kind of guessing at what could happen from this point down. Maybe we break all the way down. We do that cup and handle situation. So you're probably looking at that. But right here, we're just skimming along the bottom right here. This probably is a good bottom. You had a double bottom right here, a nice W formation, and it did break up to the upside. And we are making higher highs higher lows, all of that's great. This one is pretty dicey, but it doesn't break the overall trend, I wouldn't say. That's just it's still in that area. I've said it a few different times. I still think there's potential for downside. But if you look at the overall trend, it still looks pretty good, pretty strong. But if it comes down to these areas again, I would say, okay, well, maybe we do have a little bit of this low time or this lower points. But if it hey, if it plays out the way I drew it, I'm happy with that. But we're not going to get too much deeper into that. Overall, just looks like a down day on the 4 hour candles. Let's take a quick look at Solana. Very similar chart over there, but worth taking a look at. And then we'll jump into some of the meme coins I've been looking at, some of the things that I've been catching some interest in, and see where things are at. So we broke out of this uptrend right here with this sell off. So we'll see where this sits next. If we can bounce right off here at the 73 ish, doesn't look terrible, but probably comes down a little bit more. I don't know. I'm not being bearish on it. I'm just saying you can simply just adjust the chart to make it work for you, but it's kind of not what we're trying to do here. Trying to see how it plays out. But if you do adjust it, yeah, sure, you're still in the trend. If you like it, you just have to adjust your chart. And things change every day. So it's not insane to say, like, all right, you just move the chart to make it look right. Well, I'm just seeing if it follows my pattern here. If it bounces up here, then we're in the trend. If it breaks back down, then we need to adjust. Again, I'm not a professional fucking trader, but a couple of these calls that I've seen, these setups that work for me, they typically play out. Like you can see a nice cup and handle demonstration right here. You have your cup, your handle, 50% drawdown, right damn near to that little W right there, that point. So I just took this, measured from here to the average bottom, and then put that on the handle, and look where it went, right up to where we wanted to, like 83 bucks off of 68. So that was a solid trade if you were playing that one. But you look for those confirmations. You look for that to kind of play out. We had a W play out here that did send us up higher. So if you missed this whole play, you could have came back down here and said, all right, well, it looks like we kind of caught ourselves right here, similar bottoms, and it's working its way up. Whatever is clever. Figure out what works for you, but this is a good way to kind of track and play leverage, whether you're using Imperial, which is an aggregator that brings all the venues together. And I just saw a new one called Lexor, which is pretty cool. Both of them have opportunities to provide you some similar value. I'll talk more about one or the other in other times, but for now, we're just going to be taking a look at the overall chart and kind of like what we're looking at. This doesn't really bother me too much. Anything lower, I start to wonder, like, okay, are we not confirming this and going up to the upside? Are we not running towards 100 bucks? Are we going back down to 50 bucks? Who knows? Nobody really knows that. Anybody that says they do, they probably have a position that they don't want to go, out of play. Because if we don't confirm here, you do not have a lot of stuff holding you up. I'm just saying that. Like, if you don't get this confirmation and we break back down, and if we stay suppressed under this $80 range roughly, there's just not much holding you up here. So the 40 to 50 or 40 to $60 conversation will have to come into play, in my opinion, because this is where you broke down. This is where you bounced and broke out. This is where you broke out here. So if we do go into these territories, I would say that there is some caution for downside. I don't think anything changes with the market. I don't think anything changes with the RWAs. I don't think that whole narrative shift, I don't think it really happens. I think that just the price of Solana isn't priced in like people wanted it to be during the exciting times. I think that the price of Solana right now is suitable for what's going on. I don't think that we've lost, any market share. I don't think that we are on a downtrend when it comes to the ecosystem. I think it's like 5 quarters in a row that we are the highest, I forget the number, the TVL or volume or whatever, traded volume or something like that. I did a post on it, but not like the price action doesn't concern me like it used to, because it's just, I think we're so much more built out and established, which we're going to go into that a little bit more. But stable coins are a big topic of conversation. Solana doesn't have to run up in price for stable coins to provide the value that they inherently provide. And I think that people miss out on that. And like most of the value is created during, let's break this thing down here. A lot of that value is created during the payments solution on the back end. It's created by settling payments. They're saving a ton of money processing payments that way. It's faster, cheaper, and it saves them a ton of money. So it doesn't mean that they need to invest into Solana. Like Circle's minting USDC every day, damn near, like a lot of it. So you just got to think, like, if they're putting all this liquidity into circulation where people are actually able to use it, and if you look at digital dollar dominance, if I can pull that up, I'll show you what I'm talking about. This is a pretty cool page to like really track the stablecoin just conversation. Looks like they stable tape. Oh, they moved it over here. So I don't know if they have it up here, but they were tracking how many dollars, and it was like 1 in 72. Well, here's the July 14th. 1 in 75 US dollars is now a stable coin. They moved from 1 in 74 to 1 in 75 stable coins. Supply fell to 2.46 billion, largest one day decrease in across 23 canonical daily tape records. What they're basically doing is just tracking the movement of USDC, the stablecoin issuance, and how it's being used. And when you see all of these new things like record-breaking numbers for volume and all of this stuff, and it's Solana's still not moving, people are wondering what's going on. Well, it's like the chain's working. It's doing exactly what it's supposed to do, like to a T. It's cheap and scalable, and it works on a like with low latency. You can build whatever you want on it for the most part, and everything comes here. So the price will probably go up. I don't have any doubt in my mind that at some point you're going to see like $400 to $600 Solana, but that's a pretty big stretch. Like if we look back at Solana, I think it was at like 45 billion for market cap. We need that to be like over a trillion for it to start reaching those numbers, right? So we have a lot of work to do on that end. We'll see how things go. We still are kind of in a bearish situation overall as capital comes back into the markets. As you start to see the market cap of Solana rising, you will see all of these things kind of dramatically increase. Some things might go away, but we put ourselves in a position where we wanted big money. We wanted Wall Street and all of that attention. We got it. And a lot of this is for payment processing. A lot of it is for long-term savings. Most of the wealthiest people that come out of this game are the ones that buy dollar cost average, buy hordes of Solana and stake it because they're getting a valuable return, and they can sell it right for stables. Most of them have options to get some of your rewards out in stables. Then if they were to take a sizable position of that, put it into some kind of DeFi protocol, the risk is up to the protocol and their due diligence and security. But again, it's just a way that like you don't necessarily have to see the price of Solana to move up. Again, if there's not more liquidity coming in, it's the same money being circulated around, but people are finding ways to capitalize on certain events like that. Payment processing, staking, just simple stuff. You don't have to, not for 1 second do you have to, be out here perp trading and leverage trading and all of those kind of things and running meme coins. But they're fun. People like them. It's an interesting conversation. So with that being said, guys, we looked at Solana, we looked at Bitcoin. I do want to take a look over here at some meme coins because I do think it's meme season part 2. Why do I say this? Because we're seeing runners, we're seeing other chains want to compete and joust for position when it comes to that. You're not going to really touch Solana. You can, I think Robinhood got like a third of their volume in one day, just off the excitement alone. But I don't for 1 second think that like the narrative is going to shift into that area. I do think that Robinhood has a huge potential to accumulate a lot more users by doing that. But once people see the fees that are saved, and honestly, there weren't that many fees that were bothering me like it had been in previous years. So I will say that for the Ethereum and Robinhood and all of those, whatever. But I would always direct people back to Solana. There's no doubt about that in my mind. So let me click this here. All right, let me share this page because I'm going to show you Jupyter's terminal. This is what I use for looking at my charts and all of that kind of stuff. So pull it up here. Jupyter. Should be good to go there. Okay. Let me just put on this little background music because it's not bad. It's not the greatest, but it's not bad. And if you guys don't mind reposting, tagging a friend, getting them in here, anybody in the comments wants me to look at any coin specifically, just shout it out in the chat and I'll take a look. I'm not going to give you any suggestions or opinions on it, but I will take a look at the chart and take a look at the page and stuff like that if you'd like me to. So let's go back a little bit. We're going to take a look at Troll first off here. I think Troll is a very undervalued coin. I think the meme is widely like world renowned, like not renowned, but like everybody knows about it. It's definitely a viral meme, one that has like long lasting ability. Now this chart, most people say it sucks because of like what's going on in markets, but right now pretty much everything is down, everything's red. That's across the board stuff we've been looking at, stuff with excitement, stuff that's getting the attention. Troll, they're still holding spaces, they're still rocking out, they're still making moves and building and doing things like that, organizing, and you love to see it. One thing I will bring into consideration here is right here. So that's just the second leg up. And sure, it didn't break all-time high, but look how much attention it got. And maybe they didn't implement this stuff back then, but still works for my point. Look how much attention has been brought out from this part of it versus over here. I don't think for 1 second that this doesn't like break this all-time high. I just really do think that Troll has that ability. It's a very clear, obvious troll face, like everybody knows about it. So all it takes is just a little bit more attention and it can easily get there. So I've been calling this out as far as when to get in. This is one that I got in pretty low and ran it up to like 18, 20 cents or so. I didn't run it all the way up. That's on me. But it wasn't a bad trade at all. And again, these aren't coins that you got to get into like under 500,000 market cap and stuff like that. Those are absolute banger opportunities if you are early enough, you're trenching enough, and you are able to hit that one. That is 100% like a gamble. You can do your own due diligence, but like you don't know, and the likelihood is more than times than not you probably lose. But you're buying shit at the bottom, the stupid stuff that everybody thinks is retarded, and it's only retarded until it does something like this. Then you're a fucking genius and everybody wants to watch your trades, and typically you don't, whatever, you get the idea. It's not like any kind of rocket science here, but when the mimetic vibes are there and you start to see things running, you should start paying attention to the established memes with communities and that actually have like a system that could work for them. Now, another one I want to take a look at is Curve. Curve is one that I've posted about, and the main thing I'm doing is talking about the coins that I've brought up to people's attention, because I don't want anybody thinking like, he talked about this, never talked about it. I personally don't care, one, but I also do want to talk about these coins because I like them. I like the narrative around them. I think that there's opportunity in the market more than anything. You don't have to agree, but if I could figure out how to fix this one, there we go. All right, so not the prettiest chart in the world, but you are pretty damn close to bottom where it clearly moved its way up. You made higher lows, you made higher highs, it has come back down. So this could squeeze all the way down like this and take a long time for it to make another crazy move up there. But you have chances to dollar cost average into a position with somebody that's going to be around that is literally went out and said, like, I'm going to do something with this. This is going to be the center of most of the things I do, finding ways to airdrop, give back. I personally was given some tokens from this, and I'm not going to lie to you, I didn't hold them all the way through. It's something where I was like, all right, well, I'll do some, shilling, posting, whatever. And I sold and I exited, and I have bought back in these areas because I was like, okay, perfect. This was a gift, and this one became an opportunity for me to, create more gifts. So I took profits, bought back in with it, reinvested into the token. It's clearly a token I think has opportunity to continue running. Some of these posts right here, you could see right there, I have now dropped 44,000 of value back to the Solana community. So they're keeping track of everything. Pretty solid community over there. You've seen Curve on the timeline forever. So seeing guys like this that actually have a coin. He didn't make this, by the way. I'm pretty sure he CTO'd this. So just keep that in mind. 300,000 market cap. This is a smaller market cap, but it's something worth mentioning because I have brought it up a few different times. Now, let me go to Lazy real quick, because this is a coin. I don't know if it was Doodlegenics that launched this. I think it was or is, but they had an impressive run up here. I put the team on, or the subscribers on, right around this area when I was like, damn, I really think I could have got into here. I just kind of faded it a little bit. And then I saw this, I was like, this looks like it's got a lot of potential. It was when everything else was running, everybody was kind of jumping onto the liquidity back in here. And it's not liquidity's back, because people are spending their money again because they found some opportunity, and the market's heating up just a little bit. Trenches are trenching. There's a lot of opportunity out there. So people found this. They created a community coin. The only reason that I looked at this is because I've seen that they've done cool things with coins before. The coins kind of phased out and fizzled out. I haven't really heard about them because the markets kind of shift. But I did see this kind of go up to 20 to 30,000 or 300,000 or something like that. So you can do your own due diligence when it comes to that. I do take my initials out at 1 to 1.5x and let the moon bag run its course. I did see this kind of draw down here, made this little bit of a kickback up there. My gut told me that this one has lost its steam. They're still around. They're still doing their things. I don't know about their spaces. I have no connection to them. They haven't asked me to talk about them. It's just the coin that I posted before. So I'm going to speak on it and let you know, like, I'm not going to post my exits because that's crazy, but I will tell you in subscribers when I'm looking or when I enter the coin. If you see it on the timeline, yeah, you're late, just like everybody else. That's just the way that works. It's something that I saw and I like, but at least I come back around and say, well, there's probably a chance to get back in down here where it's under 100,000 market cap. Does it go back up? That's your I don't know, bone to pick and figure it out. But let's switch gears over to Jimothy. Jimothy's one that I thought I saw at 3 million market cap. I told the timeline and everything that I saw. I was like, damn, this is interesting here. So got in at 3 mil and ran this fucking thing all the way up. I did take initials out, but I bought back in on this dip here. So the first run up went something like this. Let's see right here, just to be so we got in around 3 mil down here. We got the first run up, pretty much sold the tops out here. Saw it come back down here and I was like, man, this thing's dead. I thought it wasn't going to have any more legs. But that's all this fucking little animal has are legs, no back at all. Which is funny enough. But after I said that to myself, I was like, oh, this is funny. So I did catch some of this right here. Then I came back down. I was like, fuck, maybe this is a bad idea. And I just sat on it. I said, you know what? If these things are going to do what I think, and I kept seeing it being posted, TMZ was posting about it. I saw Minecraft post about it over here. I just fucking doubled down and I bought back in over here and added to my bag. Just left the profit out, basically. I used my initials back in there with a little bit more because I just had a feeling that this was going to do well. And it did. It ran all the way up to 45 mil off of 3 mil. Obviously, it wasn't the entire bag. I had to average up a little bit because I didn't position myself for that. Didn't know. But this wasn't a bad run up. You know, you had about a 5 or 6x, I guess, from that. 8, maybe. I don't know. Depends on where you got out. I think mine was like 5 or 6. And then used most of that to get back in these areas and then ran that up here. Wasn't crazy size, but it was a good trade. It showed me that I'm paying attention to the right things. And I put the team on. I put the homies on. You can see where I put the gap fill, this drawdown. This is the gap between there. This is off of the handle right there. This is where this literally ran up. And you could have said, all right, I'm in, I'm out, fucking sauerkraut, cool. But if you had the balls to hold a little bit longer, you would have been able to get paid a little bit more. But that's meme coining. Again, if you didn't sell here or here or here or here or here, you are 100% in that 90% category. But look how many different opportunities that you had from 3 million, if you were paying attention, to sell for a profit. So when people say that the trenches are against you, no, you're against yourself and pulling the trigger. It's 100% you. It's not the market. If you get into like the Vlad coin that was a hacked account, like you got into a rug coin knowingly, that's a bad use situation too. There are times where a coin will rug and you have no idea. But when you get into these things, you have to go back to rule number 1. Are you willing to lose what you're investing or you're trading? Investing and trading is differently. So now the point is there's memes, but look, again, these things have come down significantly. This one's down 43% on the 24 hours. Then we'll go to, all right, we talked about Curb, Lazy, Jimothy, Troll. All of those are ones I posted about. And this is the most recent one that I posted about because I've been watching Shadow. I've been watching some other people pulling up the spaces. And I kind of had a feeling when he was talking his shit over here, I was like, let me put something in this guy. And I put this on the timeline. I was like, yeah, you know, this thing looks pretty damn primed up. Like I got in here, and I bought a little bit more here because I just saw this bullish flag. I was like, this thing is like absolutely perfect, like screaming to run up. So we got into this one and it broke through overnight. It hit almost 6 million, which is nice, but it's just filling the gaps one fucking level at a time. You guys can see it right there. But this is the mascot for Pump Fun. And if you're fading Pump Fun, you're crazy. They've gone to 15 mil. So you have a potential 3x from here. It's not a bad coin to get into, guys. I'm just saying, if you don't have to follow the narrative, you don't have to get into meme coins, you don't have to get into all of that. You could probably put a sizable position in here and just give it a couple whatever's days, weeks, hours, who fucking knows. But it does look like this has potential to honestly come all the way back up here. From here to there, you're looking at what, a 5 to 8x depending on your positioning. Anything higher, once it breaks through here, probably does do a little bit of price discovery. So if you zoom all the way out, this is only on the hour, but if you like really look at this, like, okay, I'm expecting 50 million. The trajectory is here. You know, you have the foundation, you have everything you need to make this thing work and run itself up there. Marketing put into there, people are going to be shilling it. You know, KOLs are going to get a bag. People say they won't. All of this stuff happens. You need market makers, you need certain things to happen to make coins do certain things. It's not just I'm popular and it works. It's science. But if you go through my timeline, you can look at all these coins, you can search for them, you can see the entries that I've provided. You can see that some are for subscribers only, so you can see that some are just point out that, like, just plain obvious plays. This one to me is pretty obvious. It was pretty clear here, and I don't know, I just thought to myself, well, everybody hated Pump Fund, and I bought into that when everybody was initially hating it, dumping it, blah, 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 blah. I was like, fuck it. If everybody's hating it, I'm going to buy it. Like, they made more money than anybody else on Solana. So I'm going to play devil's advocate here. And I bought into that, made a nice bag off of it. That's just what I saw. Very similar situation here. People were fading Cupsy because of what it is or what it's involved in. I'm like, yeah, but like, love it or hate it, this shit's here to stay, and it brings a lot of people and attention into it, and it's fun for a lot of people. It's not fun when you get burnt, and that's part of it. And trust me, I get it. It doesn't keep people around, but meme coins weren't meant to keep people around originally. They were here, and then once they went down, communities formed. Like, once people had bags and they needed to stick around and have a reason to be convicted and stuff to lean on, that's when they like started building real communities around there. So I'm not for a second gonna, switch gears up and say like, oh, these are bad for the ecosystem. I think they're, positive, but there is a lot of bad that comes with it. It just, you have to navigate that yourself and be the change you want to see, be the voice of fucking reason out here, and tell people that there are other options than just getting into meme coins. So if meme season part 2 is not for you, don't worry, I got you. Now, one thing I've been doing is rotating stuff into this coin called OR. You've probably seen me share a lot about this recently because I got into it, and I'm one of those people, when I get into something that I like, I get kind of obsessed about it. And I'm gonna pull this one up so we can take a look. They just literally redid the whole UI. Well, not the UI, but like the landing page. Hard money for the digital age. I just want to make sure my wallet is, it's not going to really matter. So is it connected? Disconnect. Okay, so this is other wallet anyway. So basically, when you come here, you can play around and figure out how to use it. I watched this little video, basically gave me an idea how to start. So what I did was I put a small amount in here, took profits. Let's say you just put 0.5 in here. You could take 0.1. You can run up all the tiles so you know you're going to win some kind of return. You can put it in for whatever makes sense for rounds. You can do 10. It breaks it down even smaller. You can do 100. The thing is, like, you want to hit the mother load. It's not like your goal. You shouldn't be gambling like, oh, I'm going to play this at the mother load. But if you do, you are going to get some benefit from that. You're going to be mining ore. You're going to have unrefined ore. Now, I guess this is actually a good one to show you examples of it because it is this wallet. So what is refined ore and unrefined ore? Now, when you mine ore, you have the unrefined ore. It's literally minted coins off there. You get a small percentage based off of what you put on there, proportion to the value of the blocks that you win. Those are the winners. They get the Solana, they get the ore, whatever. Now, if you claim it, like if you win and you want to claim it, you have options to go 25, 50, 75, or max percent. So you can claim everything you got, or you can do, pretty simple. The reason I'm saying that is because there is a 10% refining fee. So if you wanted to receive the OR token, so you can trade it, put it in DeFi, whatever you'd like to do, you have to claim it. And that fee is 10%. Now, somebody like me that's not ever going to sell this bag right here, I'm going to be holding this for the next 5 to 6 years or something crazy like that. I'll explain why in a second. I'm just going to let this unrefined stuff sit there because as people claim, I'm getting paid. It's the same thing as if you think of liquidity pools, how when people are buying and selling, you get paid off of those fees. It's a similar aspect to like thinking of it that way. Not the same mechanics, but it's a similar thought process. Like, okay, as people are doing this, I'm going to hold my position. And as I add to the mining position, I will get more rewards because people are claiming theirs, getting that 10%, which is distributed to the unrefined ore, creating the incentive to hold longer. Now, another thing I do when I come over here is I go to trade. I swap some of my salami over to ore. I take my ore back over here to the stake platform, and then I stake it because there's 17% or what's it called, APR on this one. So estimated annual return on stake tokens denominated in ore estimates are based on the trailing 7 days of historical yield and in no way guarantee future yield or return. So this could shoot up, it could shoot down. Just depends on what's going on. Now, two other things you might want to take a look at is the price action on the token ore itself. Let it load. So I got into this just like kind of, my boy Ike was honestly the one that put me on, and he told me his plan. He told me what he's been doing, and he said like his wallet has 6x in value since he's been fucking with this thing. So I started reading into it pretty heavily. I got my nerd goggles on, and if you guys don't know, I'm a low-key nerd when it comes to all this. I might be tattooed into sports, fitness, and all that, but I am a giga nerd when it comes down to this kind of shit because it's fucking tight. Like, I know that shit's weird, but whatever. Some people are like, I had no idea you're into this kind of stuff. It's like, yeah, well, whatever. Pay attention. So look at this price action right there. You're all the way down at 8 million. Let's go to dollars so you guys get a better idea of this. This was down in the $11 range, shot up to $280 during the last run to all-time high. This hasn't been around too long, but it came all the way back down here, came back down here. So when I'm looking at this, this is starting to trend up. More excitement and acknowledgement is being put out there. People are talking about it. I'm looking at it. I'm talking about it, which means this is carrying over. It's having that network effect. It's having that community effect, getting involved with this. I see these guys literally every single day on my timeline. And I'm like, damn, there's some like Giga Chads in here too, guys that like know how to play the market, know how to invest, know how to stick around this game for a long time. So I started looking at that. I'm like, damn, if I can just like get myself to 20 to 30 ore at 60 to $100, that's pretty good investment. And then if it does, you know, do this kind of movement at any point in time, amazing. Like you could cash out and sell whatever. But if you have a longer horizon, just imagine where this can go. There is a lock supply of 3 million of these tokens. That's why you're able to see this price action. So let's get into that part because I think this is the most valuable part. And if you haven't taken any notes by now, I don't know where the one is. I think I have it written backwards on here. I don't know where that's at. But basically, you should start writing down ore and learn a little bit, get involved with this a little bit. There is no way, shape, or form I'm connected to the team or anything like that. I just see an opportunity like a motherfucker, and I think it's worth sharing with you guys. So let's get into it real quick. I've read this the last couple times on my stream. I'm trying to beat this into your head so you understand. Blockchains enable the creation of trustless digital currencies which do not depend on any central bank or issuing authority. As one of the fastest and most widely used blockchains in the world, Solana has become the ideal home for a new generation of digital assets and financial applications. While many other digital stores of value exist and provide immense value to their users, none are native to Solana and thus rely on risky third-party intermediaries to use with protocols on Solana. Again, when you put your money into a protocol, it doesn't mean that you are safe because it's up to the risk assessment of that protocol and their due diligence. That's why we see things that fail sometimes. There's exploits on the protocol because somebody hacked it a lot of times internally. Anyway, Ore is designed from the ground up to serve as a Solana native store of value with maximal freedom and minimal trust assumptions. How it works is pretty simple. Each round, miners have 1 minute to prospect on blocks in a 5x5 grid. I showed you what that was. And at the end of the round, one winning block is chosen by a secure random number generator on the Solana blockchain. All the souls deployed on losing blocks is split amongst the miners in proportion to the size that their claim space was one of the winning blocks. So if you're splitting it like I am, you're not going to get a lot of return, but you're always going to be consistently winning. And what they say is more time in the mine is better than timing in the mines. So keep that in reference. The protocol will split more than one ore reward amongst all the winning miners on the winning block. Alternatively, half of the time, one winning miner will be selected by a weighted random chance to receive the entire +1 ore reward. Now, the motherlode, this is what you really want to hit. Each round, 0.2 ore is minted and added to the motherlode pool. When the winning block is revealed, there is a 1 in 500 chance that those winning miners will also hit the mother lode. If the mother lode is hit, the pool is split by the winning miners in proportion to the size of their claim space on the winning block. The same as the first one, but now you're getting the mother lode for that block. Alternatively, if the mother lode is not hit, the pool keeps accumulating, will be distributed to the winning miners when it is hit in the future rounds. So you still have a chance. Like I said, more time in the mines doing this is better than trying to time the mines and say, all right, I'll hit it here. Now the refining, this is literally my favorite part. The refining fee is 10% of 10, fuck my life. If a refining fee of 10% is applied to all ore mining rewards when claimed, the proceeds from this fee are automatically redistributed to other miners in proportion to their unclaimed ore. Mining rewards. Again, if you're mining, you're accumulating that ore. If you don't claim that, you just get more every single time people decide to claim, you're adding to the pot. Thus, a longer miner holds onto their mined ore, the more refined ore they will receive. The net effect is this process is to redistribute tokens to longer term holders. So it's one of those mechanics, like if you ever wanted to be paid for already participating and just holding and it's not staking, this is how that works. Then you can take that and then you can go stake that. So imagine doing this for a year and then knowing that you have 4 more years until you're even considering this. Like you're waiting for the market cap of Solana to triple in its number, thus probably raising everything else, which I would suspect. So people in this position and this protocol, their outlooks are very, very, very further down the line than most people on the timeline. I've been looking at this as one of those, I tell people this shit all the time. Take 10% of everything you make, even if you're broke, poor, and about to be kicked out of your fucking house. Make the disciplined choice and like do without, make the sacrifice, because you will thank yourself in the future for these kinds of plays. I'm saying 10% of what you make. If it's $100, $10, $1,000, $100. Pretty easy numbers. $32, $3.20. You can literally buy an ore. If that 5x is from here, you turn that into 15 and you literally made your money work for you. It's financial literacy. Most people don't have the discipline or the time to be able to do these things. But I'm telling you right now, like, find a play like this. Do it with just Solana. Like, my plays for not getting into memes, what you should start to look at, honestly, or stake or DCA into Solana, honestly, or liquid fucking Sol. Find like a liquid staking protocol that you like and use that. The other ones are infrastructure plays like Jupiter, like Meteor. I would even say Bonk, because Bonk is down pretty heavily, but I think that they are more of an ecosystem rather than just a coin. They just have so much going on. Bonk Uji just came out. They have their TCGs coming out as well. Like, that's another play if you guys want to gamble. I don't care if you think it's collecting or not. You are fucking gambling. And I don't have a problem with that gambling, because you have something to take home. You can get that sent to your house. That shit's cool. Trading cards, I love them. I think that there's a property very similar to NFTs, which is my last step of this. If you're not into any of these things and you want to collect something of value that's going to last, look at plays like Raposa. Their cups haven't made the significant price increase. Maybe they don't, maybe they will, but they definitely pumped up from the announcement from Miami Heat, the Marlins, and the way that they moved to Super Team USA and being around that area. You have to say the same thing with Claynosaurus. I had a friend of mine, I told him, I said, I think this is the play unless you're getting heavily into what you're doing right now and trading with Backpack and using the exchange. I think a ladder is great for a longer term, an IP type of play, something you want to hold on to. They bought one of the most rare ones because of their collector nature. I said you probably should sell that and buy some Claynos right now, maybe 2 of them, and they would have quadrupled their money at that point. You can't always win them, but these are the kind of things I see. I start to look down the line a little bit more. Like, I might not have the thing that's going to knock it out of the park on the timeline and people are going to be paying attention to it, but I know that I can say you can go back and take a look and see when I shared that, when I said that, you know, I wasn't wrong. I'm in a position where I can help people that have more money than me make money. But again, somebody said that earlier today, is people are paying attention to that shiny object, that light, that thing. And I'm like, look, invest in the builders right now. If you're in a bear market, if you're in a downside where you think you're at the bottom and things are starting to kick up, you should really invest in the builders. So when I see new protocols that are coming out, when I see new companies that are coming out, projects that are launching, and they got these things that I like, that I think it can add a value to, those are the things I want to invest my time and my energy into, so I can eventually invest my money into what they're building. Those are the kind of plays, infrastructure deals. Find them. Then the last key point about that would be airdrop farming. But I don't want to get too heavily, into the airdrop farming, because I am working on a piece for you guys, and we are damn near an hour right now. So I am going to cut this off here. So thanks, guys, for pulling up. This is GM Chat. I'm SMS. This is Solana Made Simple. Make sure you check out smsai.fun. And since you're still here, let's just give you a quick preview of what it looks like. I'm working on a couple different things, so you'll probably see not updates or changes to this, just a little bit more, I guess, added to the whole thing. But I did some work on this earlier this week. Got it up and running, got everything cooking over here. We're at 4,539 visits. We're aiming to hit 10K in the next couple months here. I'm trying to ramp this up and scale things out a little bit, give more of a reason to come here, but this is absolutely free. You come here, you can just start from scratch. If you've never been involved with crypto, this is where you want to go. It's your AI guide to the Solana ecosystem. You simply just start asking questions. There's a little reminder up here. If you ask 5 questions, it will ask you to connect a wallet, and not a problem if you've never opened or created a wallet, because there is a 5-step guide. Tap any wallet above, install the extension, create a new wallet, save your seed phrase securely, return here and connect. So if you were to do that, you'd be in here. We would see you on the leaderboard, and you can see that some people are asking you a shit ton of questions. 13,890 XP. I am keeping track of this. I am in 3rd place because I do have to test my own system, but there are people using this. And the other thing, guys, this is available on the Seeker phone as a D app. You can simply just go to the D app store and search for it. You just type in SMS. And there she is, right there at the top. And it's one of the first 1,000 D apps on the Solana Seeker, which I'm super proud about. Maybe nobody else cares about that, but for me, I got to see my little icon up there. That was dope. That was a really cool moment, because this was just an idea on New Year's Eve, 2025. I was like, man, I really want to build something like this, because I was working with some teams that were building, putting stuff on the D app store, and I even suggested to them, I was like, you should really launch it on here because the SKR that you can get from doing this, and like they help builders. So I put this on there. I just wanted to make it something that was simple, easy, and fun. And then it turned into, okay, well, this makes perfect sense for people that are new to crypto, that want to get involved and don't know where to start. This is your own guide. You learn at your own pace. So let's say you just made a wallet and you don't know what to do. You say, okay, well, what is the seed phrase? What are these things? How does this stuff work? You just literally answer the question or ask the questions. I have it routed to have like a database that instantly kicks it off, but it also goes straight to Solana Foundation and uses their documents and all of their verified information, so you can know that this is accurate and up to date. Now, if you're looking for the latest meme coin, the project launch, it might not be on here because it does have to do a web query for that. So there are some things that I'm working on getting added and built into this. Also talking with sponsors to get more incentive for people that are using the page daily, finding rewards and stuff like that. So those are the things that are coming. This is also my onboarding guide when I go out and about. I have a sign that says free crypto here. Free crypto. But people come up and they're like, oh, what do you mean free crypto? So I ask them if they've ever owned crypto. Usually they say yes, no, whatever. I have them go to smsai.fun. They set it up. They ask questions on there. I get them, if they don't have a wallet, I have them create a wallet and I send them Simple Token through Flipcash. Flipcash is a currency provider that I've created the Simple Token, which is basically the not governance, it's the main token for commerce in the Solana Midwest ecosystem. The reason I say commerce is this is something you want to buy and hold on to for these events and for just the growth of this, because it will go up in value as people buy into it. It's just like on the ethos of Bitcoin, lock supply, but it's managed liquidity and it has a managed reserve of tokens. So they do buy back the tokens. They have it set up so it doesn't have the volatility that most meme coins do. That's why I don't say it's a meme coin. Other people can say it's a meme coin, but it's a currency for the Solana Midwest and Solana Made Simple ecosystem. It's just a simple token. You buy, you hold, and you can use that for stuff at these events. Have I had an event yet? No, it was supposed to actually be in the next couple of days, but shit happens. I did get another message back from one of the sponsors, said that they're still keen to help out and get this thing started, but we got to see what's going on with my life in general before I start taking the reins in there, because things have changed dramatically in the last week and a half. But this is Solana Made Simple's app, smsai.fun. Again, it's available on the Seeker, and if you're using your Seeker and you're not taking advantage of the Seeker badges that they have, so Seeker Summer, you're missing out. I've been having fun with it. I beat that Gorecats level 15, which was a pain in the ass for me, but I did beat that, so I got 2 more badges to complete. But there's a lot of fun, just to be had on the Solana Seeker itself. But we are at the hour, guys. I want to thank you for pulling up, having a good time with us today. I'll catch you on the next one. This is Friday. I'm probably only going to run these on Mondays through Fridays. So I'll catch you on Monday. Take care of yourselves and have a good one.